Guys, Caleb here, and today I'm going to be showing you the 6 custom James Bond minifigures I made. For those of you who are new here, this is pretty much the series where I make a series of 6 custom James Bond minifigs and showcase them in one video. And if you are new here, the very last minifigure that I'll be showcasing is my favorite, so make sure to stick around to the end to see which one is my favorite. Real quick, almost all these were actually based off the older movies. In fact, the only one from the newer movies is her, who's actually from No Time to Die. I'm going to get to her in a couple minutes here. But besides that, they are all from movies really from the 60s all the way up until, like the 90s and stuff. So we do have some pretty old minifigures here. But without further ado, let's get into these 6 custom minifigs I made for the James Bond franchise. Of course, we have a version of James Bond, and this is pretty much based off Roger Moore's appearance as James Bond. Personally, I didn't really like him as Bond very much. I thought he was a little bit old, but I did have a lot of the perfect pieces for him, and he did turn out looking a very lot like the Roger Moore minifigure. He's pretty much all dressed up, he's got a gun, and he definitely looks a lot like the Roger Moore minifig. He does use the angry clone face and kind of some slick back hair. It was a little bit hard getting the right color of hair, but I think I nailed it pretty well. And if you look at a picture of Roger Moore and look at a picture of him, they do look pretty similar, so I'm pretty happy how this Roger Moore Bond turned out. We have Dr. No from the very, very first James Bond film, Dr. No, and he definitely looks a lot like him, like the actual one in the movie. I sort of wish I could get him a cigarette, but I didn't end up doing that. He actually has the Stormtrooper torso as sort of that white coat that he always wears, and he's got slick back hair, kind of a stern expression, and definitely looks a lot like the actual version of Dr. No, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have a bit of a less known character, but still a really cool one. So she's actually in the trailer for No Time to Die, and she's just pretty much this spy that Bond works with, and this African American woman. She's rumored to become the next 007, and so I figured I'd make her because I have a lot of the same parts. It actually uses Finn's hair and face. I thought the hair pretty much matched her perfectly, and the expression is a little bit happy, I feel like, and she doesn't look very happy in all the pictures I can find, but I think it's alright. She's got a very large rifle and just a lot of dark blue and black spy gear. And she definitely looks a lot like the actual version of herself, which is pretty cool. We have a version of Blofeld from the film On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which I personally feel like is a very underrated James Bond film. And I had this version of Blofeld, the bald Blofeld, without a scar or anything. And so I've pretty much figured out the perfect parts for him. He's got pretty much the tan coat that he has in the movie, got the very stern expression, got, of course, a gun, and some sort of, like brownish pants, and he definitely looks a lot like the actual version of Blofeld, and I am pretty happy how it turned out. It definitely looks a lot like that Blofeld. We have a really underrated character. I pretty much made the Milkman from one of the James Bond movies in the 80s. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it pretty much has this Milkman with a blue hat, and it's this spy that takes out the normal Milkman and goes in disguise into the camp as a Milkman. But instead of milk bottles, they're pretty much bombs disguised as milk bottles. And he pretty much goes bombing the entire thing. And he was a really cool character, so I decided I'd make him. I got his blue hat that he pretty much has, kind of a white coat, some black pants. Definitely looks a lot like him. He's even actually got an angry expression on the back right there. But he is a pretty cool minifig, very underrated character, and I figured I'd make him. And he definitely looks a lot like the actual Milkman, which is really cool, and definitely one of my favorite James Bond minifigs I've made so far. I think he's really good. Last but definitely not least, my favorite James Bond custom minifig I made in this wave is Q. That's right, I made Q. Really one of my favorite characters. This is the old guy that runs the Q branch, which is pretty much the lab where they make all the incredible gadgets that James Bond uses. And I figured I'd make Q. I pretty much got his white hair and his tan coat that he always wears. He's got that very old expression with the white eyebrows, and definitely looks a very much like the actual version of Q. I should make the newer version of Q sometime. I feel like that would be cool. But for now, I stuck with its old classic version that I believe was from the 60s until the 90s. Like, he's been in so many James Bond movies, and I figured I just had to make this character. And it definitely looks a lot like him. If you look at a picture of real Q and look at a picture of Lego Q, they look very similar. He actually uses the coat of one of the characters from the Friends set, and the same hair as one of the characters from the Friends set. But this is definitely one of my favorite custom minifigs I made so far, and my favorite in this wave. This minifigure is incredible. There you have it, guys. These are the 6 custom James Bond minifigs I made. And I am pretty happy how they turned out. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite. This is Seabreak Productions. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to stay tuned and up to date with my latest videos. I do have a vlog coming out in about a week or so. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.